Hi, in this part we're going to look at how to choose the correct mountain bike for you. What are the main considerations? The terrain, how extreme or how smooth, riding style, so how much climbing is going to be involved, whether there's going to be any big jumps, drops, how rough the terrain is and how your bike and you are going to cope with it. And also any distances or racing, anything specialist as well. For trail riding, slightly more aggressive terrain than cross-country and components a little bit more robust for day in, day out use, more like an everyday rider's type of bike. We have examples such as this bike here. What you'll see is a combination of many aspects we've covered so far. So a front suspension fork, a 29-inch wheel for more grip and better rolling, but also with the introduction of rear suspension. The idea being that grip and more control of the bike on the terrain is more important than optimum pedalling efficiency. These will still pedal very efficiently due to the clever internals of the rear suspension. However, it is additional weight and therefore puts this bike in a trail riding category where weight is slightly less important in comparison to grip and control. Overall, the layout of the bike is going to be very similar to the do-it-all hardtail and cross-country hardtail categories we've already looked at. Body positioning is going to be very similar. A nice, comfortable but still efficient pedalling position. All mountain, gravity enduro, more aggressive trail. It's got many names, this category, and generally speaking seems to be the largest growing segment of mountain biking currently. What we're looking at here is a 26-inch wheel full suspension bike that's going to incorporate quite a few features from the other bikes we've seen previously, with some slightly tougher, more robust components for more aggressive, rougher terrain, and also some more specific features to add in a bit more strength and reliability. Overall, the bike has front and rear suspension for maintaining the optimum grip, as a 26-inch wheel requires shorter spokes and therefore can maintain higher strength for the ability to make tight turns on the terrain. You'll quite commonly find bolt-through axles on this type of bike, providing greater strength for reliability and also greater stiffness for turning. The disc brakes may also feature greater design input to keep the brakes cool for longer high-speed descents. The head tube on the frame of these bikes you'll also notice has a bulge towards the bottom. This enables the forks to use a tapered steerer, where it's a 1 1/8 steerer tube at the top and a 1.5-inch steerer tube at the bottom. This enables greater strength and stiffness in the fork and translates to better turning and feedback from the front wheel. You'll also see on all mountain and enduro bikes the feature of a dropper seat post. This is designed so that you can have the bike in the optimum pedalling position for climbing uphill and when you really need to put the power on the pedals. It also means that you can drop the seat out at literally a flick of a switch or a push of a button, allowing you to move around on the bike more for more aggressive terrain where you need to concentrate on body positioning much more than pedalling. This enables riders who are riding up and down through various sections to control the bike in a completely different way to what was achieved before. Suspension travel on this all-mountain enduro category is going to be of a longer length, so you're looking at 140 to 160 millimeters of travel on both ends. This enables the bike to absorb larger impacts and maintain more grip over the challenging terrain. The final bike we're going to look at today is a downhill bike. Specific features are intended just for going downhill. You wouldn't want to pedal this bike at all uphill. People that are riding downhill bikes will be using it on a very aggressive terrain, fast with big jumps. Because it's descending at high speed with larger impacts, suspension travel will have increased greatly, and we're now looking at between 180 and 220 millimeters of travel. Tyre profile will be significantly larger, and the actual rubber compound will be significantly softer to maintain the optimum levels of grip. Disc brake rotor will increase in size to create more leverage, more power when braking on steeper, more technical descents. And also the front wheel axle will be boosted up to a 20mm bolt-through axle for optimum strength and steering stiffness. Currently, the downhill bike market is only available in 26-inch wheel size. There have been some experiments with 650B. Those should follow through into products in the next few years. Suspension fork on the front end may be a single crown as seen on all the previous bikes, or be a triple crown, which is here with the longer stanchion tubes. What this means is it creates dramatically more strength and steering stiffness on the bike. Features such as an integrated stem mean that more stiffness can be achieved for a sensible and lightweight. On this bike, it features a new standard, an even thicker central piece of the handlebar, now boosted up to an oversized 35mm. This bike is really tailored towards increasing strength and steering stiffness. The suspension travel being significantly longer will absorb all of the impacts. Frame strength will be dramatically increased to cope with the larger loads, and the rear suspension on the bike will more than likely feature a coil shock for the ultimate in reliability and durability. All of the air shocks previously were there for their beauty of adjustability and lightweight. This bike features a steel coil for consistency, reliability and strength. One feature you will see on a downhill bike is a limited gear selection. The gears are only designed to when the bike is being pedalled downhill. Pedalling uphill is not even an option. Most of the time the rider will be out of the saddle stood up on the bike. Therefore the saddle is there for moments of rest or to control between the thighs to ensure the bike stays on track, more so than it is used for sitting down and pedalling. Therefore, you'll often see the saddle position will be significantly lower in proportion to the handlebars.